This is IA Forward, your playbook for success as an independent insurance agent. Now, here to help you knock it out of the ballpark are your hosts, Shane Tatum, Tonya Lied, Mike Basil, and Robbie Javor.
Welcome to IA Forward. We are so excited to have the fabulous Miss Emma Tatum here with us today. She's a senior at the University of Kansas, fabulous softball player, and is spending her final semester as an intern with us at the Integra Partner Network. Hi, Emma.
Hi, happy to be here.
Yes, we're so excited to have you. And in case you can't tell from Shane's smile, not only is Emma our intern, she's blessed to have Shane as her dad. How's that?
Yeah, she's very, very blessed to have me as a dad, constantly in her ear. And if you can't tell by looking at us, we pretty much have to claim each other.
We do
a lot of similar facial characteristics, I would say.
We look a lot alike, so
just a little bit.
So since Emma is a softball player, our topic today is focusing on the base hit instead of the home run. And if you're at bat, you are still in the game. Now, while this resonates for her as a softball player, it really resonates with us in the independent agency world.
Yeah, no, it's so similar. Like, and it actually fits us really well from the standpoint and really the way that I have described a lot of things through the years around hitting home runs is, not necessarily you chasing home runs. I think about this when I think about conversations with agents who chase big commercial accounts because they're huge premium, but they have no background. They are not set up. They're not, it's kind of like they don't have the right swing. Right? They got to work on their swing first. They got to work on their plate approach first. They got to work on all these little things before they can hit the home run. And really, you don't really try to hit home runs, right? If you're trying to hit home runs, you're going to strike out a lot.
But I mean, everybody wants the home run, right? So why is it that we don't want to be disciplined when we're at bat? Like, why do we glamorize the viral post or the massive account win? But when we know that championships are really built on base hits, right?
I'm going to let Emma interject an at bat or a plate approach. Like, what are things that you think about? What's the approach when you're at your level, right? Big 12, Power 4 pitchers. Power 4 pitchers are different, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you kind of take us through the level of play and just try to describe best you can at what that looks like for a hitter?
yeah. I mean, I think that the media, like, they're going to film the big hits. Like, you're going to get posted when you hit the double or the home run, or I guess for us, like when we get an RBI, like it's constantly like a post on social media. But I think as a hitter, like facing some of the best pitching in college softball, when we get into Big 12s, it's like, if I get a base hit through the infield, like I'm celebrating the smallest things. And I think like as a team, like that's what you celebrate. And you might not know that as the crowd, as the fans on social media, because that might not be getting posted all the time. That might not be kind of the thing that's making everyone wants the home run. Everyone wants the double. But like, what about the 2-for-3 game that you had where you had like 2 little knocks up the middle or through the gap? I mean, our hitting coach talks a lot about like, just put the ball in play and something's going to happen. He's like, hey, big time hits are going to come. They're going to come if you keep swinging. But one of the biggest times that my hitting coach has been like the most happy is when we have runners on second and third and someone hits a ground ball and it doesn't even get through the infield, but we made some chaos happen. And I feel like that stuff that's not talked about a lot, but those are some of most fun at bats that I've had, not even like the home runs, like when you kind of just cause some chaos on the bases.
Yeah.
That reminds me, Emma, of one of Shane's favorite words. And I don't know why this has never been his word of the year, because it should be. And that's consistency. So when you create consistent at bats, that's the same thing in the agency world as, consistent content on social media, consistent messaging from your team, consistent timing on your follow-ups.
Yeah.
Those are business base hits, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We have a really good candidate for word of the year in 2027. How about that? That's a nice little.
That's a good word. You do use
is
that a lot, Dad.
I do use that a lot. And that's a good point. I really haven't thought about that. And maybe stability kind of goes along with stability or being stable, but consistency. I mean, not to steal a little bit of her thunder, but I think consistency was one of Emma's biggest goals for her senior year. Like,
it was
being more consistent, right? Like, she had some really, really crazy impactful games last year. 5 RBI game against Baylor, and home runs, doubles, like just some big things. But then, she got frustrated. What I would say, probably the most frustration for her is that, 0 for 3, where she hit the ball, but maybe she just didn't get that result, right? And that's very relatable to our business, to the insurance industry.
Yeah.
I can remember when I was in college decades ago, and that just made me sound like an old person. I remember back when I was in college. But being a diamond girl at Southern Miss, the coaches called them ego swings. And there was nothing that would make a coach madder than an ego swing. And Emma, do y'all have that same kind of theory?
We don't say ego swing, but like when you say that, I know what you're talking about. Like, there are some times where a girl gets up there and, just take the biggest hack, and it's like, hey, we need like a base hit. Like, I've done that before. Like, I think sometimes it's fun to be the hero. It's fun to like be in the bottom of the 7th or the 6th, and we need one run to tie the game up or to get ahead. And it's like, okay, I'm going to get up here and I'm going to swing like the biggest swing as hard as I can and just hope it goes somewhere. And I think there are times where that's okay. Like, being a pinch hitter coming in, like, your job is genuinely just to swing the bat. And like coming in as a pinch hitter, sometimes I've done that. Like, you do have to come up there and just kind of have an ego swing, just swing hard. But when you're a starter in the lineup, like, your swing's got to stay the same. It just has to stay consistent and swing at good pitches, and good things will happen. But yeah, having an ego swing I feel like when I hear that, I kind of think selfishness. Like, it's just, you're trying to be the hero. You're trying to make it all about you instead of asking yourself what you can do best for your team right now.
Yeah.
Shane, I think sometimes agents want to have that ego swing in their agency. Very rarely have I ever seen that be really successful.
Yeah, of course, everybody wants to have that swing. Everybody wants to hit that home run. I think, we talk a lot about how athletes make great salespeople, make great independent agency prospects and sales agents prospects. There's evidence throughout, history that athletes are really good, candidates for sales positions in various industries. And I think there's a little bit of arrogance that has to go with that, right? Like, in a good way. If there's such a thing, let's call it good arrogance, right? Like, I think good arrogance, the true definition is confidence. Or
confidence, yeah.
Like Emma and I talked.
Say confidence.
Yeah, we could just say confidence, right?
Thank you, Emma.
Thank you.
Well, I didn't know if that's what he was getting at. And I was like, are you just talking about being confident?
Yeah. Just be confident. And even more, and Emma's heard me say this a lot this year, is intrinsic confidence. Like, just internalize that confidence. And, that is something that we don't want to squash. We don't want to squash the confidence, right? But we want to manage the ego side of that, and where it becomes toxic arrogance, right? Where it's like so selfish that nobody wants you on your team. Like there's agencies out there that have these sales producers, and my dad used to talk about these really, really successful loan officers. There was this one successful loan officer at the bank that he ran when I was growing up, and we would have these little business discussions, not any different than the way Emma and I have had these little discussions from time to time. And it would be like, I'm constantly going around putting out fires behind this guy. Like, he was great at the top line, the generating the opportunity, but the little fires become exhausting, right? And that's what you get from the ego swing, right? If you get that one big, everything aligned, and they hit just a monster bomb in the bottom of the seventh to walk it off. And I played with those guys. I played with those people. And they got that one social media post that went viral. And it was like, but that is a high. Emma's heard even keel a lot, Tonya. Sorry, right? Emma's heard that throughout her life a lot. That high has a huge drop to the low.
Yeah.
And that player, no different than in our agencies, that player has a hard time staying in the lineup because of consistency or lack of consistency.
So what is a base hit in insurance? I mean, for me, that is increasing your policy per customer ratio, improving your retention, maybe cleaning up your CRM, which sounds like great fun, right? But making you more time efficient, maybe cross-selling. I mean, Shane, what are base hits in our business?
One, I think, is not getting bored is a base hit. Like, for personal lines agents, let's set the tone here. For personal insurance agents, auto, home, toys, some life insurance, building a book of business, not getting bored with that, and going too quickly into chasing something bigger and better. Like, don't get bored with the base hit. I think that is a base hit, right? Because what happens that I see in agencies is people get bored, or they play the comparison game. And, we all know comparison's the thief of joy, and they're not able to stay focused on just the thing that's getting them there, that's making them successful financially, that's paying the bills, that's creating the lifestyle, the earnings. And then they run over here and they start chasing home runs, big commercial accounts before they're ready. Nothing against that, right? Hey, there's nothing against being 2 for 2 with 2 singles and an RBI, and, sitting in a 3-1 count, right? With runners on second and third and coming out of your shoes on a swing.
Yeah.
Like, nothing wrong with that, because you're kind of playing with house money at that point. You're in the black. Like, the only difference there is if those runners on second and third are game tying or game winning runs, then coming out of your shoes becomes a selfish play, right? And so the agency equivalency is, hey, you're right there and you're profitable and you're making good money, and you're about to be able to invest in growing your business to a whole nother level, and you run off on a tangent and start chasing stuff that has nothing to do with your core business, and you look up in 6 months and your business is starting to go backwards, right? So to me, that's a big part of what a single looks like.
Emma, What do you think is a good at bat? Like, tell me your definition of that.
I mean, I think it needs to be competitive. So for me, like, I think it kind of depends on like who you are, but something that like our hitting coach that we've had the last 2 years has done a really good job of emphasizing is the first or second pitch in an at bat is probably going to be the best pitch you're going to get, especially when we're facing Big 12 pitchers. Like, you might not get a good hitter's pitch because they're that good. So you have to learn how to hit their pitch. And most likely a really good pitcher, the first or second pitch is the best pitch you're going to get in an at bat. So if you take a ball, first pitch strike, well, you got to battle the rest of the at bat because that's probably going to be the best pitch that you're going to get. So I think for me, I'm best when I'm aggressive and I'm swinging at the first strike that I see. Most of my hits, I say that, but sometimes my best hits have been when I have 2 strikes, which is really funny. But I think I'm my best hitter when I'm aggressive and I'm swinging at strikes early in the count. But let's say, you do get 2 strikes on you, like battling and not having the ego swing, just trying to put the ball in play, having a competitive at bat, taking balls, knowing that that's not your pitch to hit, and swinging at the right pitches. So that'd be a really good at bat for me. And then just putting the ball in play somewhere hard.
Hey, maybe throw in there what is y'all's definition of a quality at bat?
Oh yeah.
Maybe elaborate on that.
Yeah. So we have like a hitting chart that we call it quabs.
Quabs. There you go. Okay. Quabs.
And sometimes, like, if you're not in the realm of softball, baseball, like, you might only think a quality at bat is a base hit. But I mean, a quality at bat actually could be a strikeout if you see 8 or more pitches. So if you're fouling balls off or you're taking pitches, even if it ends in a strikeout, we actually still consider that a quality at bat because you saw 8 or more pitches. Another quality at bat would be if there's runner on second, first and second, and you move them over. And now we have either a runner at third or runner at second and third with 1 out. So it has to be less than 2 outs. And then RBI, quab, a walk is a quab, and then obviously like a base hit. But yeah, it's actually a lot of ways that you can have a quality at bat. And what's funny enough is most of the time quality at bats are when you're not being selfish and you're doing stuff for your team.
So Shane, tell me your opinion of what is the insurance equivalent to those things, some of those things.
Yeah, I have this immediate example of a quality at bat. We have an account manager here in East Texas who has on more than one occasion, like you would make on the surface, it sounds like, oh my gosh, they're failing, but which sometimes that's what a quality at bat looks like, right? A strikeout could be a quality at bat. But I have just recent examples in the last several months of just due to pricing issues or due to some situation with an account. We have a couple of different account managers who have lost business, lost an account because we just couldn't compete for whatever reason, but got a referral from that same customer, right? And so, that is a very, very good example of what I would call a quality at bat because they're doing their job really, really well. They're taking care of the client, their personal experience, right? Like not their customer experience. Sorry. Their customer experience is through the roof. Like, so customer experience and quality at bats feel similar to me. And you can lose business and gain business on an exponential basis at the same time if you are providing incredible customer experience. And I think that is something that the most successful agents understand. They understand that just because they didn't make a sale, just because they didn't gain a client or keep a client, doesn't mean they're not going to get 5 more clients from a referral because of the customer experience that they achieved.
Emma, you're a senior this year, which I can't even believe that.
Yeah, I can't either.
Out there.
I can't either.
Well, how has your perspective on success changed from being a freshman to being a senior?
That's a really good question. I think, I mean, it kind of just goes down to what we've kind of been talking. I think in softball terms, like success to me does look like consistency. Like I would rather have no home runs on the year and just have, a great, I guess you would say batting average doesn't really matter. I mean, just like great at bats, quality at bats, consistently having RBIs for my team, then all of these home runs were like, I get all of the glory. Like I think I would rather be a consistent hitter in that way of just like base hits after base hits than all of these like, all right, we need a grand slam right here. We need a home run. Like that's awesome. I think that's really fun. I've had those moments and they're great. But yeah, I think from freshman year to now, it's like, I'd rather just get a base hit up the middle in the bottom of the seventh and score the winning run or score the go ahead run. Like that's a lot more fun and kind of takes away the me mindset. And I think as coming in as a freshman, like you kind of crave that a little bit because you're there, you're at your dream school, you're playing, and you want a little bit of the success. Like you want your name to kind of be mentioned a lot. But yeah, I think I've learned that this is softball and baseball is such a team sport where success just looks like doing anything you can to help your team out. And you actually have a lot more fun when you stop thinking about yourself and do stuff for your team. So that's what success looks like to me is what can I do for my team and being able to do that in whatever role it looks like.
So let's flip this coin and discuss that slumps happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're rough, right? I mean, this happens on the ball field. This happens in business. This happens in life.
Yeah.
Right. So tell me what that looks like for you.
Yeah. I mean, we call our sport a game of failure. Like you are 3 for 10 and you're an All-American, which is crazy. And I think that just shows like how hard this game is. Our coaches say a lot, like you're going to make mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen because this is a game of failure. And we talk a lot about the difference in physical mistake versus mental mistakes. I think you can control all of your mental mistakes. That's my opinion. I think you can, if you have a mental mistake, that's something that you can control. I think sometimes slumps, I think they start physically, but I think how you deal with it in your head is how you're going to come out of it. I think like if you're in a slump, telling yourself you're in a slump, one, isn't really going to do much because now you're just getting deeper into the whole like, oh dang, I'm in a slump. Well, that's not really going to do anything. So I think you, one, have to have people to talk about it with. I had one of my best friend, my roommate, we play the same position. We're able to kind of talk to each other. Like, I don't know why, but I'm just like not feeling it right now. And I haven't been feeling it the last couple of games. You have to be able to talk about it, get it off your chest, bring it to the light, as we would call it. But yeah, I think you just have to keep going. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to lay down and stop? Like, you're going to regret doing that eventually. Like, you just have to keep going when you're in a slump. Because a breakthrough is going to happen. Like, you're not going to be feeling this way mentally forever. It might last like a couple days or a week or two, but it feels like forever. It's not going to last forever. And I think you just got to keep going. Like, you can't stop. You can't lay down. You can't say, well, this is it. I'm not going to get out of this. Then you're really not going to get out of it. So yeah, you just got to keep going, keep grinding. You got to keep going to the cages, keep going to the field, work at it, do the things you don't want to do. That's how you get out of it. And we like to tell each other a lot on the field. We'll just kind of look at each other and be like, hey, you can do hard things. You can do it. So we tell each other that a lot, and that helps get out of the slump.
Yeah, that's so many parallels to our business. We talk about
I
that
will say a lot of that does come from my father. So I feel like I should say that first. I'm saying all of this, and this comes from lots of voice memos, lots of phone calls, and lots of text messages between me and Dad. So just to say that.
Yeah, and you have to think about it in context, but Emma and I talk a lot about, or have always reminisce about dropping her off her freshman year and, just basically saying, hey, this is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. And I think she would agree that's true, right? Now, obviously there are things in life that are harder than playing college softball. Like there are personal tragedies and there are things we have to keep that in perspective. But when it comes to like, when you are going into a Power 4 program in any sport, you have to realize every single person coming into that program with you, either that is already there as an upperclassman or that's coming in with you, they were all state athletes in sports. Sometimes they were all state athletes in high school in multiple sports, right? These are the best of the best. These are the elites. I know that a handful of programs in baseball and a handful of programs in softball get the viral social media. The OU had the 4-year 4-peat run at the national championships. I mean, we had these in football with who Tonya refers to as St. Nick's teams at Alabama. Nick Saban, who we all like to refer to.
I like that, Tonya.
Yeah. She likes to refer to him as Saint Nick, and he probably good. That's a pretty good title. But they're even at the mid-pack Big 12, any level of Division I, these players are elite, right? Like, and it's the hardest thing. And we talked about that when we're leaving her in Lawrence, Kansas, and driving 12 hours back to Texas. It's like, this is the hardest thing you're ever going to do. Just know that going in. It's a sport of failure. And the parallel to our business and thinking about the history of the Integra Partner Network, thinking about my personal insurance career, like there has been, I call them trip and falls or skinning our knees. I use those phrases. Those are failures. Like we are only successful today because we first failed, and we failed often. And I credit, obviously, I credit my faith, number one, but beyond that, I credit my experience as a baseball player at the collegiate level, as failing often. It has helped me in business, more than I can describe. Like, because that's what business is. That's what playing an infinite game with your business is it is a reality that you're going to fail. And Derek Jeter had an incredible commencement speech in the last couple of years, and he talked about failure. And if you don't know who Derek Jeter is, look him up. I'm sorry that you don't know who Derek Jeter is, but he's one,
I'm clutching my pearls on that one. Yes.
I'm just saying there's somebody out there that doesn't know who Derek Jeter is. Look him up. It's really important that you look him up. Hall of Fame shortstop for the Yankees.
There's a really great documentary on him on Netflix.
The Captain.
Netflix.
ESPN. Yeah.
ESPN. Yeah.
One of my favorite documentaries. I think I've watched it 4 times.
Yeah. I mean, so he talks about failure, right? Like failure in business is going to happen, just like that's why I think baseball, softball is such a great foundation.
Emma, one of the things that I have heard Coach McFall's head coach there at KU say is being where your feet are.
Yeah. We talk about that a lot. Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah. This actually came in from our pitching coach, Coach H, Laura Heberling. She came in my sophomore year and started using that term, be where your feet are. And then Mick Falls and kind of Coach Justin, we all just started saying it. And it basically just it means to be present, but I feel like saying be where your feet are is, to me, more of a intentional way of saying, hey, let's be present. We kind of use it a lot in games or at practice, like, hey, we're not going to focus on this game because we're here right now. We might be playing a doubleheader, or this past weekend we were at Arkansas and we had a really great weekend, went 4-1, but like we had some games that we had to take care of before we got to Arkansas. And it's really easy to get real amped up to play Arkansas. I mean, they're number 8 in the country. You're excited to play them, but there are teams that we played before that we were like, we have got to come away with these wins. And we were saying that a lot, like, hey, be where your feet are right here, right now. We got to focus on Boise State before we can focus on Arkansas. And if we're here in Lawrence practicing, it's like, hey, we got to focus on us. We got to be where our feet are before we start thinking about the road trip we're taking this weekend. And I use it honestly a lot, just like in life, like being where your feet are. It's me and Dad have talked about it a lot this year. It's really easy, like as a senior, when you have fun plans afterwards, to get excited about those things, because it's something that, I mean, in previous years, the next years just looked the same because you're playing softball again. But it's different this year because I know that I'm going to graduate, which is crazy. And so that's kind of been something that we've talked about a lot as seniors, as a senior class. We've constantly just been telling each other, like, hey, focus on being where your feet are. We can focus on May when May comes, but right now it's March. So let's focus on March.
We are focused on March right now, but Emma, tell us a little bit about what May and beyond looks like for you.
Yeah, I am, so I'll start in August. I'm going to something called the Grace Fellows Program, which is a 2-year residency thing for a church in College Station. I'll be working in ministry, specifically college student ministry. I, kind of long story short, went on a summer trip to Bangkok, Thailand, and kind of God just revealed ministry to me. I had no idea what I wanted to do after graduation. And I kind of was like, I guess I'll move back to Texas. I don't know what I'm going to do, but we'll figure it out. And then, last summer I was sitting in a coffee shop in Thailand and kind of was just like, I think I want to go into ministry. So I'll be working with college students and international students, just bringing them into the church in College Station.
During your internship this semester with us at Integra, what have you learned about the insurance business, about the crossover from being an athlete and being in the independent insurance space?
Yeah. So I'm actually, my degree's in sport management. So I chose to do that route because I was like, I just want to focus on softball. I don't need school to be super crazy my sophomore year. So I, for my degree, had to take an internship, and kind of worked out perfectly because Tonya had already done some NIL stuff with our team. And so my internship has been a lot focused on that. And I've kind of been blown away. Dad's kind of already mentioned it a lot, this podcast, of the parallel between just college athletics and independent agency. He talks, I don't know if you talk a lot about it like on the podcast, but he's talked a lot about it to me of how, as an independent agency, like you have to build your brand. And it's really funny because in the NIL world, and honestly, I would say college athletics in general, we're constantly being told, like, you are your own brand. Everything you do, people are looking at you. You can choose what your brand is going to be because it's your brand. Right. I've learned just so much about, I guess I didn't realize how close they were, like the different little snippets that we can talk about. And even like things that you said today, Dad, I'm like, yeah, that just makes so much sense. There's just such a parallel between, I guess we could specifically say softball and baseball and independent agencies, but kind of what I've just been looking at and researching, kind of just athletics in general, of being able to kind of build your own brand and have access to it, kind of runs very similar to owning your own insurance agency. And so, I mean, I don't know if you're an athlete listening to this and you have no idea what you want to do, independent agency is not a bad outcome, because it's very similar to owning your own brand in the NIL, and you get control, you get your schedule. I don't know. I just think it's a very good route for college athletes to take after they graduate, if it's something they want to do.
If you're a former athlete, we would love to talk to you. Reach out to us. Go to integrapartnernetwork.com, and we would love to talk with you and share our story even more, and maybe partner together to help you earn that next win, right? So, Emma, another phrase that I've heard hanging around you guys over the last few years is being gritty.
Yeah.
What? I listen. Yes.
Yeah. This is awesome. We even have shirts made that say gritty.
So tell me what that means to you. What is being a gritty player?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's doing absolutely everything you can for your team to find a way to win. I think when I have a visual of being gritty, I don't know if everyone would say this, but like, I think it's like, okay, who's the dirtiest player? Like what uniform is the dirtiest right now? To me, I think that is gritty. That means that you didn't care what happened. You didn't care what it looked like, but you were going to do everything you could for your team. I think it looks like we also talk a lot about with that, like finding a way to win, no matter what that looks like. And instead of using the term of like, let's find a way to win, and not let's find a way not to lose. And I think those are two very different ways you can say that. Finding a way to win to me is gritty. I mean, I think it looks like kind of what we've been talking about, doing anything you can to get that run across in the bottom of the sixth, bottom of the seventh, on defense, not letting a ball get past you, no matter what that looks like. I think it just means being a tough out and not caring what that looks like. It's a mental thing. I mean, it's physical, but like being gritty starts mentally. It starts with knowing that you're going to fail. And when you're in a slump, being like, okay, I don't care. We're going to get out of this eventually. I mean, I think that's also gritty, not letting the negative self-talk get into your head, like just completely knowing that you're going to get out of it, knowing that you're going to fail, and actually thinking, okay, failure sometimes is good because I learn from it, and being okay with that. But being like, okay, well, the next time I have this situation, what am I going to do differently so I don't fail? I think it can be used in a lot of different ways, but it's kind of a lot. But I think that's kind of what gritty means.
Shane, what does gritty look like in the insurance world?
And showing up every day, I think that's gritty. I think that getting up and going to work when you don't have anyone telling you to get up and go to work, as a business owner, as an independent agency owner, is a big deal, because that's one of the things that I hear from agents that come out of, say, a corporate sales job, or some other environment, where exclusive agency environment, where maybe they were a little more managed. And I think grittiness in the business environment is, hey, you may not feel like doing it today. You may not feel like, getting up and grinding, and you just have to get up and do it. Now, there's a reward coming for that. Just like on the ball field, being gritty has all kinds of rewards, right? There's success, there's team success, individual success, and so forth. But I think that's been a theme here lately. We've talked about it on the podcast. Just showing up is really, really important. Really, really important to continue to show up every day. I said it earlier, to not get bored with the the mundane, not getting bored with doing the things that you've got to do over and over and over again, right? And so I think that's another part of being gritty. And just kind of, there's a thing out there, it was in the book Good to Great. It can go a lot further that we don't have time for today, but it's called the Stockdale Paradox. And it's basically confronting the brutal facts, like not living in this dream world, but confronting the brutal facts about what you have. Like, you know, I'll use Emma, and we've talked about this before. And if you go to a Jayhawk game and you see the girls line up on the line for the national anthem, you'll see what I'm talking about. Big 12 athletes are athletic monsters. Like, they are physical specimens, and I don't care what sport you're talking about. Like, and Emma has her dad's genes. So Emma's not 5'10" or 6 foot tall, like so many of your other players. She's actually taller. She must get it from her mom's side, because she's actually 5'6", right? Which is making her one of the smaller statures, right? And so, you know, Emma has a lot of surprise power in that 5'6" frame. And so I think just this confront the brutal facts as part of who you are and own it, right? Like, I think that's an important thing in the independent agency channel as well. Like, if you're a really good personal lines agent, own it. Be the best personal lines agent in your state, the country, whatever, right? Instead of like chasing someone else's dream. Stop chasing other people's dream and confront the brutal facts about what you have, who you are, and own your own dream. Like, I think that is being gritty when you get down to it.
Emma, what if I know that you're an avid reader like your dad is? If you could suggest a book for me to read right now, what would you suggest?
I'm not finished with it, but a book that I'm reading right now is called Relentless by Tim Grover. And it's a guy that my hitting coach is a really big reader, like reads a lot of books. And so this is a book that he suggested. And this is Tim Grover's I guess you would say like a coach or a mentor for, he was one for Kobe Bryant, all of like the really good NBA players, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, all of them. And it's just a book on being relentless and what that looks like. And it's really good. I'm like halfway through it right now. It's all about mindset and just what being relentless looks like. And a lot of it is things that we've talked about today. One of the things that I was thinking about when you were talking, Dad, of doing the mundane things, there's a quote in the book from Kobe Bryant, actually, and he says, like, why do you think I'm the greatest? I'm one of the greatest players in the country. It's because I do the basic things over and over again. I got really good at the basic things. And so I think that's something that works in any aspect of life, whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, the parallel between the sport, you know, of baseball and softball and the independent agency system, owning a business. Like, we talk a lot, and Emma had she's had travel ball coaches through the years. We've talked about it. She's had college coaches. Do the little things. Like, you know, mundane. Yes. A lot of the little things are mundane. Like, they don't get the limelight. They don't get the viral, you know, social media, you know, glory, so to speak. But you got to do the little things in a ball game. You got to get the bunt down, right? You got to move the runner. You got to, you know, runner on third with less than 2 outs, got to get them in somehow, some way. Can't leave that run on the board. And so little things in the agency business, like, you got to get back with people, like call people back. It's amazing how much business you will get just by getting back to people in a timely manner. Just that simple, right? And, you know, I don't advocate working on Sundays at all, but it's so funny driving back from from Fayetteville, where the Jayhawks were. I get a message on Teams message from one of our retail sales executives who here in East Texas, and she had been at a, ironically, travel ball tournament with her son, and she was basically saying, just made a sale on Sunday. And, it was, I was like, you're not supposed to be working. And she goes, I know I'm not supposed to be working, but the money was there and and the sale was there to be made. So I made it. And I'm like, congrats, good job. Like that, just, doing the little things, being responsive to people, huge. And in a day where we're losing authenticity, where people aren't calling people back in a timely manner, it's huge. It's huge to just keep showing up and getting back with people.
I've had so many coaches over the years that have different styles. And I remember I had one coach that was all about pressure. And I was very successful with him, but didn't enjoy it as much as coaches that are about presence, and have had great success with both ideas. But to me, the pressure is that you've got to go out, you got to swing, you got to make the big plays, where presence is more the idea of, knowing where your feet are and keep going and being there, right? So what is your thought, Emma, on the idea of pressure versus presence?
Yeah, I think sometimes as a college athlete, it's really easy to get wrapped up in like, I gotta do this, or, you're going to feel the pressure. Like you can't wish the pressure to go away. Like when we're playing in a big game at a big stadium under the lights and they've got bases loaded, and you're like, the ball needs to come to me so I can get this out. Like that pressure is not going to go away. But I think what's really cool in those moments is like I've had moments like that, and maybe a timeout gets called. I specifically remember like my sophomore year playing at OSU. It was, I think, a Saturday game, maybe even a Friday night game, and so many people there, and a timeout got called like by the OSU people, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like this is the coolest environment. Like I'm getting to do this. And there's a guy that has been talking to a lot of just us as captains on the team that our hitting coach has brought in, and he talks about like being present over feeling the pressure. And he's really good at being like, you're living in your dream. Like sometimes y'all just need to look around and be like, you're a Division I athlete playing at a Power 4 school for a Big 12 school. Like that's really cool. And like, I think it's really easy to kind of be sappy about it, but it's true. Like you're living out your 12-year-old dream. Like there are little girls watching you. They could care less what happens. Like they don't care if you make an error. They don't care if you strike out. Like they still want your autograph at the end of the game. And I think that is something that really helps you stay present, is like just sometimes looking around when you're playing and being like, oh my gosh, like my dream has come true. Like I'm getting to play this game. That really helps take away the pressure, because then you're just kind of like, hey, whatever happens is going to happen. You've made the play 1,000 times, so just go and do it. Kind of helps you embrace the pressure instead of trying to run away from it.
I've been so blessed to see you play a few times there at KU. And I will say one of the coolest moments for me was I'm watching the game and I kind of glanced over to the right, and there was a little girl there who had Tatum on the back of her jersey with your number 20. And I'm like, that's amazing. Like,
I don't even think I was playing that game either.
Yeah.
That was really cool for me, because I was like, I wasn't even playing that game. Like, it wasn't like I was like the starting, like second baseman or shortstop that game. Like it was, I think that's when I was like, it doesn't matter. Like what you do, these girls don't care. They just want to see you have fun. And they just want to get your autograph at the end of the game. Like, that's the coolest thing to them. So,
And they're dreaming of being where you are.
right.
That's back to your dream analogy. Like they're dreaming, just like when you were 10 or 11,
Exactly.
or 12, and you were watching girls and you were going to a game. You know, for us, it probably would have been an Aggie game because your mom would have drug us there, right?
Yes.
And so, you know, and so it's like you now are in that, and you see that was those moments, seeing those little girls wear your jersey. You know, because for us, it's like, you know, we're in Texas, you're in, playing at the University of Kansas. You know, it's no different in any area, right? Like there's Florida girls dreaming of being a Gator or a Seminole or whatever, you know, and it happens in Texas with all kinds of different programs. And there's girls in Kansas and Missouri. Hate to bring Mizzou into this conversation for you there, Emma. You've learned about that rivalry pretty good. The heated rivalry of the Jayhawks and the Tigers. But there's girls in Kansas and Missouri who are dreaming of being Jayhawks or dreaming of being Missouri Tigers. And so, you know, everywhere around this country, you just have that reality. And then you get caught up. It's so easy to get caught up in that pressure and caught up in how hard it is. And then you turn around and you look at that 10-year-old little girl wearing your jersey and you're like, okay, thank you, God, for that reminder, right?
Yeah.
Because then you just realize how big of a blessing it is.
Yeah, for sure.
From a insurance agency owner perspective, sometimes we forget how incredible we have it. You know, Shane always says that the independent agency world is the greatest business out there, and that the worst of us retain 80% of our business. That in itself is incredible from a business perspective. And sometimes we forget how great it is, and that you can travel and go to your kids' ball games or their dance competitions or their music competitions or whatever your children do. You can spend time and celebrate with your spouse. There are so many things being in the agency world give you if you allow it. And from the perspective of a producer in the agency world, you're making a great living. You're making an absolutely great living. And the opportunities are out there to own your agency, to continue to create a lifestyle for yourself if you're willing to take a chance, right?
Yeah, it's to me, it's mind blowing how awesome of an opportunity it is. And people are going to say, you know, oh, Shane, you're biased. Yeah, I kind of am, but I'm also living proof, and I've experienced it personally. Like the things that we were doing just with our girls when they were little, when they got into middle school and then high school, and of course now with Emma in college, the ability to chase them around, the ability to not miss games. My dad was a big proponent of that. And I think it's because in the boomer generation, in, you know, growing up as an 80s kid, you know, you just didn't have the flexibility back in that day and time. And even before the pandemic, we were doing post-pandemic remote work stuff. Like we were doing things that allowed us to see things. Like, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I worried that it was embarrassing Emma's older sister, Hannah, or Emma, when we would show up at this random middle school basketball tournament in the middle of the day on a Thursday, you know, at 10 a.m. And we would be like one of the only sets of parents in the stands. And it would be like both of us. It would be Julie, my wife, and I both. And so it was like, I'm sure it's like, and I'm looking around, and one time I realized it's like, nobody else is here. My gosh, we're the only parents here. And Julie had to remind me, like, well, most people don't have the flexibility that we have. Like most people are working, et cetera, and have jobs. And I'm like, well, we have jobs too. And she's like, we do. But the independent insurance agency business is, in my opinion, the best business on the planet. And so it has given us so much more than a better than average living, right? It's giving us so much more than financial, stability. It's given us flexibility. And you are going to have a really hard time replacing the memories that you never got to create. And memory creation has an expiration limit. I thought about that recently, and I kind of thought about that phrase, like, if you don't create those memories as you go, eventually the opportunities to create those memories expire. And so to me, that's worth everything. I mean, that's the timeless, the priceless reality of the independent agency business. And I know that gets pretty, dramatic, like sometimes I get called, drama dad, like, don't be dramatic, dad. Oh my gosh, dad, you're so dramatic. I can't overemphasize this enough. The flexibility of owning, building, growing, running an independent insurance agency is incredible.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't let this go. Mr. Even Keel, Emma, when do you have to tell him not to be so dramatic? Because I can't ever, in the 8 years that I have been with Integra, can ever think of using the word dramatic about Shane Tatum. So I need this insight.
Oh, goodness. I mean, he is a girl dad, so he kind of gets it best. Like there will be, I don't think I have a specific story, but like there will be times where I'm just like, you only do that because you're a girl dad. Like you are just submerged in girls. And Hannah and I can both be dramatic. And so I don't have an exact story. Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes the dad jokes are dramatic because he's just being a dad, but he's also, the only answer I have to that is that he's a girl dad. And he's kind of the ultimate girl dad. I don't really know if people know that about him because I know he has usually his business face on or work. We call it, what do we call it, Dad? Your dad tone?
Dad tone.
Yes.
My dad voice.
We're just like, gosh, you gave them your dad tone. And he's like, well, I'm working. Because we don't always get the dad tone. We get especially as we've gotten older, we get the fun Shane. And so he is the ultimate girl dad. So I think he's dramatic because, I mean, he kind of has to be sometimes if he wants to fit in with the girls. So.
Well, maybe that's it, because that is one of the interesting things about what Shane has built at Integra. So many, or I would say most of the insurance world, the executives are men. And women are still fighting that around the country. And Shane has put together an executive leadership team that is primarily women. And maybe that comes from being a girl dad, but he has built a team based on what he sees as women building the business, helping the business be successful. And he sees something really special in what women bring to the world of business and the world of insurance.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that other than, God thought it was funny. So he would gave me 2 girls, and I've been blessed beyond comprehension, so I can't imagine. Now, we had nephews. Well, we have 3 nephews. They're all grown and married, and we call them the Bush boys because that's Julie's maiden name, her brother's boys. And we got to watch them and go to their ball games and do things. When those boys would come over to our house, it was like they're going to destroy everything in this house. Like we were so not prepared for the boys to be in the house. And so I don't know, our girls spoiled us. They spoiled us and made it easy.
Well, Emma, thank you so much for joining us today. We have we have loved getting to spend this time with you, learning more about you, your goals, your dreams, and also what you've learned about the independent agency world. I'm loving getting to spend this semester with you.
So
the
fun.
things that you're creating for us are absolutely amazing. So I want to let you leave us with some just some thoughts about the insurance world. If you were promoting owning an independent agency to another college athlete, what would you tell them?
Yeah. I think I would go back to kind of what I was saying earlier. When you graduate college, you're young. I'm not saying that maybe it's something you start when you're 22. I think Tonya, me and you have talked about this a little bit, like getting a little bit of experience under your belt. But I think having your own independent agency is, from what I've learned, kind of life-changing and kind of just, Dad said it before, but I truly do believe like it's one of the best careers to have. And I'm going to promote this even more, even though Dad, you kind of just went on a tangent about it. I didn't really understand how awesome a career like this was until I got to college and really started learning, wow, my parents don't miss a game. We're traveling the country. And I don't think I realized that in high school because a game was maybe a max 2 hours away. But I really would promote that. My parents don't miss games. They don't miss tournaments. And I didn't realize how awesome that was until I got to college and learned that I was one of the only people who had parents at every single game, every single weekend. And so, yeah, if you're interested in it, if there's any bit of you that's interested in having your own independent agency, I say go for it. At least just learn more about it, because it's a pretty good job to have, especially with the flexibility of getting to chase your kids around or whatever that looks like for you. So,
Emma, do you have a favorite quote that you want to share with us?
Yeah, this is actually a Bible verse. It's 1 Timothy 2:7, and it says, "For God does not give us a spirit of fear and timidity, but a spirit of power, love, and self-discipline."
I am going to leave us today with this quote from Coach Jennifer McFalls, who is the coach there at University of Kansas and an Olympic gold medal winner. Championship programs are built on consistency. It's not about one big swing. It's about winning the next pitch.
Attitude's a choice. Make a great one.
Bye, y'all.
At the Integra Partner Network, we understand that carrier access is the key to your agency's success. That's why Integra offers direct access to top-rated personal and commercial carriers, ensuring your agency thrives in today's challenging market. And with our comprehensive resources, profit sharing and bonus opportunities, technology and peer support, all while you retain 100% of your book with no penalties to exit. Integra is ready to empower you and your agency to find sustained growth. Find your way to Integra. Visit IntegraPartnerNetwork.com today. That's IntegraPartnerNetwork.com.